Hello guys and welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. And this is a big one. Preview for the North London derby on Sunday away at Tottenham Hotspur. We're going for the title. They're trying to get top four. Not just that, they're going to be fucking desperate to stop us having any chance of winning the Premier League this season. They're in, they've got a chance of ending our season essentially. One more slip up and we know realistically the title's probably gone. Quickly talking about City, they did win their game last night against Brighton easily as well, 4-0. Some poor refereeing decisions in that game, I must say, but City thoroughly deserved to win. Brighton were really poor. Liverpool slipped up against Everton, losing 2-0, so it's looking like, at the moment anyway, it's a two-horse race. And we simply have to beat Spurs, our biggest rivals, to make sure we stay within the conversation for as long as possible and pray for a City slip-up. And this is, this might be the biggest North London derby since the Invincibles 20 years ago, when we could go there and win the Premier League, which obviously we did by getting a 2-2 draw, won the Premier League at White Hart Lane. And this is it's similar, isn't it? It's quite similar, really. Okay, obviously we can't claim a title at the minute, and the title isn't in our hands. But if we win this, I think City personally will be looking at Arsenal and thinking this is where Arsenal slip, and we go on and win it quite easily. And I honestly think if we can win this game before City go to Forest, that's going to put a lot of pressure on City, man. And I know, look, City are the perfect team to deal with pressure. They're not going to panic anyway, regardless. But all we can do is win our games, simple as. And this is by far our hardest game left of the season. I would say on paper it's our only difficult game of the season, which obviously football isn't played on paper anyway. And I know there's going to be some United fans on here, and like my friends are going to go, how can you say that about me and United? You've got to come to Old Trafford. Fuck off. United are shit, simple as. They're shit at Old Trafford, they're shit anywhere else. If Arsenal go to Old Trafford and don't beat them, that's on Arsenal, and then no excuses. United can banter us, whatever. But on paper, that's not a difficult game. Arsenal should go there and beat United. Liverpool should have battered them, and we're better than them. Liverpool couldn't put them away. Fine. City went there and turned them over. Sheffield went there the other day and ended up leading the game twice. So it's not one I'm particularly worried about, and maybe that's just because by that time it might not matter anyway. But looking at everything on paper, this is by far our hardest game. And it's the one with the biggest potential for us to slip up and end our season with nothing. The Spurs are going to be motivated. They've had 2 weeks off. 2 weeks off to sit back and chill, while Arsenal have been playing. How many games have we played since they've played? Probably 4 or 5. Every like 3 days, which, look, there's advantages and disadvantages to that. Spurs would obviously be fit and fresh in the legs. But with that, I believe, comes a lack of sharpness and a lack of match rhythm, which Arsenal will have. And Arsenal will be, sharp, especially after winning our last game 5-0. So I think in a way that actually disadvantages Spurs, but we'll only see when the game kicks off, because both teams like to play at a very high intensity. So it may make us struggle towards the end of the game. Whereas their high intensity might be able to, their fresh legs might mean they can keep up that high intensity for the full 90 minutes. But yeah, such a big game, innit? And it's going to be tactically. I think normally with a lot of games, I say tactics aren't the be all and end all. And this game, there's going to be a lot of emotion in it. But I think the players have to learn how to channel the emotion and take it out of the game in a way and just play the game. It's just another game. Another 3 points. Fuck the fact it's Tottenham. Okay. Player for player, we're a superior team. We're in a better position. We've got more to play for. Playing for the Premier League is way more important than playing for a top 4. And we've just got to take the emotion out of it. And tactically, Arteta's got to get it right, as well as emotionally getting through to the players. Tactically, I look at Spurs and, I think something they do very well is they do overload the midfield very well. Their fullbacks come very much inside, sometimes playing as 2 number 10s while the wide players stay wide and isolate fullbacks. They may struggle to do that as well with probably one of their best players of the season, a Doggy, out, and he's out for the season, so he definitely won't be playing this game. But good news for them is that Porro's back, Richarlison's back. So it'll be interesting to see what sort of team they go for. Will they keep Werner in the team, or will they put Son out wide with Richarlison in the middle to maybe give more of a handful to Gabriel and Saliba? I don't know. But Arsenal need to find a way to make sure we nullify the threat to them coming inside and isolating the wingers and getting crosses in. Because Spurs seem to score a lot of goals by getting it to the wide player, just going down the line, cutting it dangerously across the box and getting tap-ins. They've done that against us for their first goal at the Emirates, when James Maddison managed to get it wide, spin away from Saka, pull it across the box. Son won a tap-in. It was a good finish, but, you know, that sort of thing. I've seen them do it against West Ham and, you know, other teams all season. And I think that's something Arteta needs to make sure that we nullify, because I remember Omri done a bit of analysis on Arsenal dealing with crosses in play, and we don't deal with them too well. And I would have to back that, because even against Chelsea, you know, that chance Nicholas Jackson had come from a pretty simple ball from out wide, and if he didn't have ball in, heads it properly, he probably scores. So something Arteta and Arsenal have to figure out how to deal with. I mean, I suppose for me, the best way to probably do it is to get Declan Rice and Partey playing as the pivots next to each other, so when their fullbacks do come inside, them two can pick those guys up potentially, or maybe Odegaard comes back, so then Partey or Rice can deal with Maddison as well. Fullbacks obviously deal with the wingers, with our wingers coming back and helping. But look, that's just, like I said, that's probably their main threat. But thing is with Tottenham, they concede a lot of goals, and they will give you a chance. So if Arsenal can go there and be defensively solid like we have been in the Premier League, especially away from home this turn of the year. I mean, we've had 6 away clean sheets in a row. If we get 7, that's got to be some kind of record, surely. And if we get 7 clean sheets, we probably end up winning this game. So like I said, Spurs do leak goals. They really do. I think they've conceded like 49 in the league this season, something like that. In their last game, they lost 4-0 to Newcastle, so they've had to sit on that for 2 weeks. That's not good. And they play a very, very high line, so Arsenal need to figure out the tools to expose that. I don't really know if we have the players to expose it as such. We've got players to play the passes, like Partey, Rice, Odegaard, but do we really have the pace in behind, especially when they got Mickey van der Ven, who is absolutely rapid, been a brilliant centre-back this season. I don't like any Tottenham player, but I do really like him. He's probably the only exception to that. I think he's brilliant. But yeah, Arsenal will get chances in this game. Spurs also don't defend corners all that well. So transition and set pieces, I think Arsenal can really, really hurt Tottenham. And we know we're very, very good from set pieces. It's getting that transition right, I think. And, you know, when you look at the goal we scored against Chelsea for Kai Havertz, that was sort of a transition moment, just in behind, bang, 3-0, game over. So it's definitely going to be a really, really tough game, and it's one I am very, very nervous about, simply because you don't ever want to lose to Tottenham, and these games are horrible in general, but for them to end our title challenge would be the most painful way for it to end. So I'm just desperate for Arsenal to win this game, whatever happens, and just tick off another game and then crack on to Bournemouth the week after. But Arteta's got a job on his hands to get it tactically right, because Ange Postecoglou, the Spurs manager's come in, done a fantastic job for them, in all fairness. I still think if they didn't have all the injuries they had at the start of the season, they probably would be in a much more comfortable position. But hey, that ain't our problem. I really don't care. So just go there, boys, and get this game done. Play the game, not the occasion. And if we do that and Arteta gets it tactically right to nullify their threats, I think Arsenal will win this game. Just going to the predicted 11, and to be fair, I think it will just be the exact same team against Chelsea. So that if that is the case, it'll be Raya in goal, looking for his 15th clean sheet of the season. I did say in my last video that he officially claimed the Golden Glove. I was actually wrong. Especially Pickford can still technically catch him because he kept a clean sheet against Liverpool, but realistically Raya's probably got it. But anyway, he'll be looking for his 15th clean sheet of the season. Ben White, best right back in the league this season for me personally. Had a fantastic game last time. We'll be playing right back. Saliba and Gabriel as usual at centre back. I think Tomiyasu will stay at left back, unless obviously this is all assuming that there's no injuries during the week in training or anything. Arteta didn't really allude to any in his press conferences, so hopefully we should be okay. Tomiyasu left back, I think Partey and Rice, well, I think Partey, should I say, should stay in the team. It wouldn't surprise me if Jorginho comes back in. Maybe he thinks Jorginho's just better for this sort of game in terms of controlling the tempo. But I think Thomas Partey should be in there, personally. I think he played well enough against Chelsea, but we'll see. Partey, Rice, Odegaard. And Odegaard, I think Odegaard's really key in this game in terms of getting us on the ball, getting us playing. And when we get chances to expose them in a transition period, we've got to get Odegaard the ball, and he's got to get them passes right through the lines and exposing Spurs' high line. Bukayo Saka on the right wing could be a key game for him. Like I said, their main left back isn't playing. It'll be interesting to see what Spurs do. Will they go with Ben Davies, or will they go with Emerson Royale to maybe try to deal with this threat of Saka? I think Saka against Wolves and Chelsea has slowly been getting sharper. Starting to see a bit more of him. He's starting to take people on more and beat players. Obviously got the assist against Chelsea. Could have potentially had an assist or a goal against Wolves. So he could be really key in this game. I think he could have a big say in this. And do you know what? He kind of needs to, because there's this myth going around about Saka don't perform in big games, which is absolute bollocks. But the only time I do have question marks over Saka in big games is away from home. The only big game he's scored in away from home is United and Chelsea, I think. But he does tend to provide assists and goals away from away from home against the bigger teams. But this could be a really, really big game for him. He could get a lot of space. But then when he does, he's going to be coming up against Mickey van der Ven, who pace-wise has got Saka all day long. So Saka's going to have to be clever in his movement and make sure, hopefully we can get the best out of him. And then I think it'll be Havertz up front with Trossard on the left. Again, it wouldn't surprise me if Martinelli comes in on the left because of that high line and the fact he's our only rapid player. But I think that might be something Arteta looks to maybe expose later on in the game. I think he'll look at it and think, let's get control of the game. Let's try get ahead in the game. Then, 60, 70th minute, hopefully we're ahead. Bring Martinelli on. And then he's going to have absolute, pretty much the whole of Tottenham's half to run into, because they do play such a high line. And I really can't see Spurs changing how they're going to play for him this one. And in terms of score predictions, I'll be honest, my gut feeling says Arsenal are going to drop points in this. And that's probably just PTSD. And do you know what? In a weird way, I think City not winning against Brighton might help us in this. I honestly think if Brighton had a beat City or taken a draw from City, and Arsenal know it's back in their hands against Tottenham, I think Arsenal might have melted. I really do. But obviously now we'll never find out. I'd rather it be in our hands, but psychologically for the players, you see when it was Villa and it was back in our hands. When Liverpool lost, we fucking fumbled. So who knows? But score-wise, I say I've got a bad feeling about this. I feel like it could be a draw or we could lose. And that's probably just the fear and the fact that how much it would kill me if Spurs are the ones who end our title dream. But my head says, as long as the boys turn up, the boys will turn them over, because Spurs aren't great. Like, they're very good going forward, but defensively they're terrible. And if we can just, play our usual defensive game, and going forward, we might only need to score one. And they will give you chances to do so. So I'm going to go, I think Spurs will score. I want to go 2-1 Arsenal, but I'm not majorly convinced. But yeah, let's see how it goes. Big game. Let me know in the comments, guys. What do you guys think? What's your predictions? And how nervous are you? Because I'll be honest, I am absolutely shitting myself. But yeah, big game. Look forward to it. And hopefully come Sunday evening or Monday, whenever I get around to doing the review. If we win, it'll probably be Sunday evening. If we lose, it probably won't ever come, to be honest, because I don't think I'll be able to talk about it. But yeah, enjoy your weekend, guys. Hopefully Liverpool and City can drop points as well. Like I said, Liverpool, they're not out of it mathematically, of course, but they know it's going to take something big now for them to have a chance of winning the title. They are away to West Ham in the 12:30 kickoff, which I think will be really tough for them. I looked at these three games when everyone's going on about the running a few weeks back. People saying Liverpool had the best running. I couldn't wrap my head around that, because I knew they had to go away to Everton, their biggest rivals, who were scrapping to survive, who are probably now, by beating Liverpool, probably secured their Premier League status for them next season. And then before that, they had Fulham away. Fair enough, they dealt with Fulham, but now they've got to go West Ham away. And you don't know what sort of West Ham's going to turn up. They got pumped by Palace the other week, didn't they? 5-2. But if West Ham turn up and play any sort of their normal, decent football, West Ham could easily take something from Liverpool. And then you look at City against Forest, you would fancy City to win that quite comfortably. However, Forest are fighting for their lives and they need to pick up points because they might get another points reduction soon, so who knows. So hopefully, you know, if we win our game, that might put big pressure on City and they might just slip at Forest. I mean, they drew with Forest last season, so who knows. But yeah, I'm just rambling now because I'm nervous. Anyway, have a good weekend, guys. Talk to you soon. Come on, you Gunners.